Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar titled Pedestal Design Simplified. I'm Jim Olson with the National Tile Contractors Association. I want to welcome you and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend today's webinar sponsored by LATICRETE. Before I introduce today's speaker, I want to remind you that during the webinar, you will be muted. Please use the questions area on your computer to type in your questions, and we'll answer those questions at the end of this presentation. We'll give it our best try at answering them anyhow, but we'll be here. If the audio on your computer is poor, call the number on the invite to this webinar and listen on your phone. All NTCA webinars are available to watch at any time on the NTCA YouTube channel shortly after the webinar is presented. This will give you easy access to watch and or share all current and past programs at your convenience. All right, I'm excited to introduce today's speaker, Troy Wicks. He brings over 30 years of industry experience to the table with 18 years as a trusted installer and business owner prior to joining LATICRETE. For the past 14 years, he's specialized in sales and training for specialty products division of LATICRETE, offering deep insight into both the design and installation process. Troy, I'm very excited. Welcome, and can't wait to hear your presentation.
Well, thank you for having me here. As he just said, I'm Troy Wicks with LATICRETE International. I've been here for working on 15 years now, and I've been able to work with a lot of the specialty products that we have launched in the market. And I'm pretty excited to share with you about the NXT Pedestal System. I've just really, as I've shared with other contractors, it's been a lot of fun hearing how they find it simplified just like I do. So today we're going to talk about what is a pedestal. Some of you already have industry experience with them. Your teams are probably even using them today. So we're going to talk a little bit about it for those people who are just interested in what a pedestal can do. We're going to talk about some applications that we've used the pedestals in. We're going to talk about some optional accessories that, quite honestly, I'm calling them optional, but I think you're going to need them every day. And then we're going to talk about how this product line is estimator and installer friendly. If you've got boxes of products sitting on your shelf right now of mixed sizes and mixed items, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. And then we're going to talk a little bit about testing and load capacity. So what is a pedestal? So I live in Oregon, and in Oregon, we have very few basements. And so basically, you're walking up to the front door and you're walking down to the back patio all the time. Every house is built on stem walls. And so the nice thing about pedestals is you can take that step down backyard and raise up that floor till you have your coffee in one hand and your newspaper in the other, well, I guess your iPhone in the other, as you walk out onto the patio, because you can bring it right up to floor level. I used to be a concrete contractor, and we could only pour so far because if you ever had to repair the door or take the sliding glass door out, you couldn't bury the threshold. These you could actually take it up as high as you want to because you could remove the panels if you ever had to. Along with that, if you're doing tile work, I know we're a tile company and we sell setting materials, but if you're doing a pedestal system on an existing pad right now, you'd be able to finish in a day. You don't have cure times, you don't have to do any grouts, you don't have to worry about any of that. These systems drain themselves right through the channels, and you can go over the top of existing floors, of course, but you'll find that you could do it over compacted gravel if it's really compacted. I don't know if I'd recommend that as much as I would, hey, go to Home Depot and buy a 97-cent paver and make a little bit of a pylon for it and work from that. Also, when I think about pedestal systems, superior maintenance. So if you've got products, or I'm sorry, conduits and stuff running around, you can get in and maintain them. You don't have to worry about them being poured in concrete and boring underneath if you ever had to redo something. If you're pouring new and you want to have more grade to the drains, a little more slope, get the water out of there quicker, you can do that because you don't have to worry about ADA. You don't have to worry about people transitioning back and forth or how it affects other people when they're walking on it. And for me, as a previous concrete guy, everybody wanted to have pedestals or pots and plants and stuff out on their patios. With this system, you literally could just run drip lines right up into those pots. You could run holiday lighting, you could do up lighting, down lighting. All those services are available for you to run at the time of putting the pedestals in or afterwards. Now you'll see that we talk about going from 3/4 of an inch up to 42 inches. Some people go, why would I ever want to go that high? Well, if you're working on a roof system and you've got air duct material already up there, you're going to need to be able to get above that. And so at 42 inches, you're going to be able to do that. Now, this is a picture of a project. This is a model home. It was set up for a tile entryway, but the problem was it was poured incorrectly. So it basically looked like a utility room entrance. So using the pedestal system, they were able to lengthen out the treads, give yourself a grander entryway. It literally, when you walked up to the front door, you had to step into the house. So using the pedestal system, we were able to raise that up so you had that really nice, grand, formal entryway. And just like I was just talking about, you've got 2 pots sitting out there. You could run drip tubes up into those pots underneath and not have to worry about it. If you want to do holiday lighting or the Christmas tree or anything else you wanted to run out there, you have access underneath the systems. Now, this is kind of a cool project. I wish I had a couple more pictures of it, but I don't, because we're just what we have here. But this was a solid roof deck system. They had a beautiful view. No doubt it was a great solid roof walkway entry or exit, sorry. And they basically had a swimming pool off to the side, a prefab swimming pool. So when you walked out, you had a great view. You had one solid floor and then this prefab swimming pool. The designers wanted to come up and give it a little more of a 3D feel, a little more dimension, a little more style. So using the pedestal system, they were able to add in these 3 steps and have like a sun deck and lower what looked like a big swimming pool, lower it down by actually raising up the basin and giving a sun deck feel to it. Now, most of the pavers out there on the market are screw thread. I will say the nice thing about ours is it's an easy hand adjustment. You can just basically spin them into position, so you've got a really, really fast setup when you're working with these. We have systems that will carry tile, stone, paver, wood systems. Basically, if it's designed to be a finished floor and it meets the characteristics of a pedestal system, we have a way of adapting to that. Now, here's the real key to this product line. There's only 3 things you're going to need. I say only, but there's a few things you're probably going to need to add into it. But your crews are going to need the mini. Now, the mini is going to take you from 3/4 of an inch to 1 3/4 inches that quick. Just spin it, you're ready to go. Now, when you buy the minis, you're going to get them in a case and you're going to have the adapters in there with it. So that piece is already in there with them. You don't have to buy them separate. Those tabs are in there with them. The next product we're going to talk about is the Max. It comes out of the box at 1 3/4 inches and ends up being 5 3/4 inches in one piece. Now, if that's not good enough for you and you want to add 4 more inches to it, it's pretty simple. You pop the base off, put the next piece on, put the base back on it, and you've just added 4 inches to that pedestal. So it went from 5 3/4 to 9 3/4. If that's not going to do it, you can add another one. That fast. It's that fast. Now you can add up to 9 of those to the systems. Keeping it simple, not gonna have a lot of dead stock around. Easy for the estimator, easy for the installation crew. Now here's what's unique about the Max. It has basically a plug. When you get this, it will be out of the box in the 3/4 inch and 3/4 position. It will have this blue plug in it. And that's factory torque. You're not going to take that out with your finger. I've already pre-loosened this one because I didn't want to have to fight it. So if you take this plug out, it just threads out. You now have 5 degrees right here at the head. I was doing a demo yesterday and we had a fairly compound grade to it. We didn't just have single slope, it was going to a drain. So by loosening this up, we were able to get exactly what we needed because we had the float to a couple different directions. So that's unique to the Max. And then if you wanted back in the fixed head position, you just thread the blue back into it. Now we're going to talk about the optional accessories. I think that You'll see, I think most of them are necessary on fairly regular basis. Now we're going to talk about the base slope correctors. So our base slope correctors are 3 degrees. I don't know if you can see that. There are 3 lugs on them. They actually will snap together. So if you're adding multiple of these together, you can just put them one after another, after another, after another. And the nice thing about it is once those are on, they will mount right to the bottom of your pedestal. It'll snap right on the bottom. So you can take it out onto the project. And what's nice is once they're on there, you can move it around and they're not going to slip out. You're not going to be shoving them back underneath. Those lugs will hold them in place while you're using them. The rubber shims, so those don't go under the pedestal. Those are actually going to go up here where the tabs are. So you've got everything level, everything looks great, but you walk, there's just a little bit of movement, just that, I don't know how to ever say it. I'm embarrassed to do it, but I'm gonna go dunk, 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 you know, the corner that doesn't quite fit right. You can use these in those corners. Now I've seen guys use a single one, drop it right in there, and basically that will take out that maybe that little imperfection in the bottom of the stone or the paver or the tile, whatever you've put on there. It'll take out a little bit of that imperfection. Let's say you're using stone and you got a really big imperfection. You can take these, fold it into 4. Like I said, once again, it goes right on top of it. Now you do not need these. Our pedestals have a rubber piece on it right here, so the acoustics on it are already dealt with. If you're used to other products where you have to put this on top of it to keep from making a lot of noise, that's unnecessary. This is purely for taking a little bit of the rock out of the whatever you've done as your finished floor, taking that little bit of rock out of it. Now the timber joist brackets, those once again, just like the spacer tabs, they fit right on in here. They snap in, and you can run your joists on it, and then you run your finished lumber right on top of it. We've got a project going on right now down in California. They're using all composite woods. So literally, they have a rot-free deck. They're never gonna have to refinish it, and it's good, easy to use. Next thing we're gonna talk about are concealed wind uplift plate. So this one's in its entirety. What you'll do is use the 310 epoxy. I don't have any 310 epoxy here to show you, but the 310 epoxy, you would apply in these corners, set your finished material on top of it, and that's going to hold it down because it actually clips in just like the other ones that I've been showing you. I have to show you how easy it gets out. This clips right into the top of that piece, and that will give you, the piece will be locked in, your epoxy's on here, and that will give you your wind uplift. Now the question is once you've done that, now what? How do you get it apart? Well, you can see in that breakout right there, if you remove this cross, basically this piece goes in there. If you move this cross, those pieces are 4 individual pieces. You could take out 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of them, put them back in there, drop them back into your system. They kind of have like a cross hatch they fit into. You drop that cross on top of it, and the system, drop the screw back into it, and the system's all back together. So even though you've epoxied it down, you still have the ability to take it out. The fixed multi-plate, it says coming soon. It is really coming soon. I promise you, it's right around the corner. This product, you can also use with the 310 epoxies. It's different. It doesn't snap in. It actually has some locks to it. So when you put it on, it locks into position. So you get hold from the bottom of the pedestal through this, and you can do your epoxy in those corners. Now, what's nice about this multi-plate is it does a lot of different things. It will give you a 3/16 of a starting point. Let's say that you're thicker than the 3/4 of an inch. So you can start at 3/16 of an inch. These will stack on each other. You can stack up till you get to 3/4 of an inch and then switch to the mini if you want to. These also, you can put the slope correctors underneath of them. So you can use that to help fix your slope. Once that's installed, then it's much easier to use. Now, you can break the tabs off of the tab spacer. And what's nice is you can take the tabs and you drop it into the sides. And what it's going to give you is your wall start. So I'm going to put these 4 in here just like it's going to be a corner. So now I've basically made a wall side, put it in there, and that will gap my stone away from it, giving its drainage. Very, very useful product. We should have it in the next month or so. Now you've seen me use the just basically hand screw these out. Pretty easy peasy. Now I will say, if you're going to do, let's say you're doing a patio and you've got to come up 4.5 inches, you're probably going to get tired of spinning this all day. You can just use a drill. Actually, I'm going to change that. Please don't use a drill. Use one of like a screw gun, something that doesn't have the torque of a drill, and you can quickly bring these out. So it'll save you a lot of hand time. But let me tell you this: if you use a big drill on that, what stops these? The little stops inside are plastic. So if you use a big drill on this and spin it out really hard, you can pop these out past that stopper, and you'll have to put it back in. So buy your guys something cheap, something that that they won't tear it up with. Now after construction, you can have one of these. The same tool fits right inside here. And basically that will fit down the same distance as your spacer gap. So if you need to, you can go back, oops. You can go back in and tighten and loosen these pedestals once they're actually installed. So that's kind of a post-construction thing. So by hand, if you're doing a lot of adjustments using the drill, the screw gun, and using the using the post-construction tool will really help you along. All right, so when I talk about it being estimator and installer friendly, I think you're getting my vibe that I'm trying to say there's not a lot of pieces here. So here's the reality of it. When you look at this product line, you have one pedestal that will take you from 1 3/4 to 5 3/4. That's 4 inches of adjustment in one piece. So if you look at the competitors we have sitting here, that will basically alleviate 3, if not 4 separate pieces your team's going to be taking to the job. You're going to take 1 for that. Now I talked a little bit in the very beginning about stock sitting in boxes. Part of what we did early on, doing a lot of sleeving and irrigation stuff inside of our concrete, we would end up with tons of stuff that would come back off of a job. I'm sure if you guys walk out into your shop, there's boxes of who knows what from whatever job. If you're just sending out your team with these pieces, with the 3 pieces that we've shown you today, you're not going to have stuff sitting in boxes you don't know what it is. There's only 3 pieces. It's going to be one of these 3 things that will work in one of those areas. So keeping it simple keeps it simple for the estimator, keeps it simple for the installer. I did talk to an installer that uses another product, and he said that they had bid a job, got out onto it. When they got there, they found out that it was actually lower than they thought and needed taller pedestals. He says, I lost 16 grand the first day because we had just misbid it. It wasn't what we thought it was going to be. So a lot of ease comes with that. Now, when you look at the products again, we're going to talk about these. This one product with these 3 SKUs will get you from 3/4 of an inch. Now, actually, I'm going to rephrase that. It's going to get you from 3/16 of an inch to 42 inches. I know that there's different numbers out there. 42 inches is to the top of whatever your finished goods are. But with these 3 products, that will get you there. Send out these 3 products onto the job site, and you're not going to worry about the guys not having what they need. Now, I just pulled this particular one because I ran into it with a distributor in Oregon out where I live, and basically our 3 products were comparable to 15 different items of a competitive product. So to me, it was an easy sell. That it meant that there were 10 less SKUs out there for them to have to deal with. Nobody really had to figure out exactly what they needed. They just needed to know the range. So you're going to have 3 cases of something out there, and you won't have to buy a bunch of little pieces in between to try and make the different levels work. Testing and load, as far as I know and understand, there really isn't a number out there that's, hey, you have to meet this. Ours, we're telling you it's 2,200 pounds. It surpasses that, but we're going to tell you it's rated at 2,200 pounds. We're going to remind you that the pedestal is not going to be your problem. The pedestal is going to be, or the problem is going to be the material between. What is the manufacturer of your finished goods? What's it rated at, and how is that system going to work? Also, one thing that we didn't have a slide for, but I want to mention it because it came up in the seminar yesterday. If you're going to do a center, let's say it's called out for a center, kind of like the number 5 on a dice, and they want a center, you just don't put in the tab spacer, bring this up in the middle and thread it in, and you're good to go. So once again, you've got basically 3 main SKUs, the mini, the max, and the extender to get the full range. You've got the slope correctors, the rubber shims, and always remember when you buy the pedestals, you will always have the tab spacer included in it. You don't have to order that separate. These come separate. Anything specialty comes separate. So with that, I'm good for questions. It's not a big product line. So what do you guys have? I may say I don't know.
Well, that was quick, easy, kind of just like your product. I like it. It's fantastic. This is a very expanding field that we go into, Troy, and it was really good. Already quite a few people have noted that thank you. They appreciate your presentation. We have at least one question here, and I'm going to read it to you. We have a bunch more coming in. So, epoxy for uplift, like a dollop in each corner. If it's code, does that need to be inspected? What determines when you need the uplift protection? Code, question mark, or if written into spec? So that was quite a few if you want me to separate it.
So, well, let me see how many I can hit, and then you can tell me where I missed.
Perfect.
So the testing was with basically a dollop about your thumb, a little bit more than your thumb was what the testing that we have and that we're talking about. We have some international testing that's been done with this product. I would say yes, it's going to be driven by code. For sure by code. If it's a code, you're going to have to do it. If it's a specification, you're going to have to do it. If I was an installer and I was doing balconies or a roof system, whether it was code or not, I would probably just do it so I could sleep at night.
Great. And something about written into spec. You have to,
it's written
already
in the spec.
there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, our next question. Do you have Florida product approvals for NOAA, NOA?
I don't know that one. That's new. I mean, we've had people ask about Miami-Dade, but all of everything that we've worked on, I can't find a Miami-Dade spec. Whoever asked that, if you would send that to me, I would be more than happy to find out for you. I can tell you right now, the testing I've seen does not. I haven't seen that acronym anywhere.
Scott, will you just let us know what NOA is, and we'll get back to your question. Thank you. All right. How wide is the spacer gap?
Sorry, 5/16. 530 seconds.
530 seconds. Okay. 530 seconds. All right. All right. This one's from Adam. Since system is not adhered, how will epoxy solve uplift?
So if you're going to be doing an epoxy system, you're going to be epoxying the bases down also. So you'd be epoxying the base to your substrate.
All right, good.
Yeah, so if you're going to be using wind uplift, basically you're starting at your substrate, working your way up, adhering everything.
What is the requirement for underlaying waterproofing?
As far as underlaying waterproof, so I don't have it here. We actually have a foam pad that goes on this. You peel and stick foam pad. I will tell you, when you take these out of the box, this happened yesterday, they're flush across the bottom, and I had one of the guys take one of the foam pads with the adhesive on it and stick it on there, and it was all we could do to get it to let go. But there's a foam pad that goes on the bottom of this if you need to protect that waterproofing.
Perfect. Okay. Why would I want to select LATICRETE pedestals versus other types on the market?
For me, I mean, I was a contractor for a lot of years. If I could get the same job done with 3 items, basically, I mean, everybody has the same optional pieces after that. So I'm just going to talk about your base. That's what I would do, because it's going to have less issues out in the field. The guys are generally going to always have what they need. Yeah, and just the time of moving this up 4 inches versus either going and opening another case of a different product. I'm not gonna pick on any one product, but a lot of products you have to spin off, spin back on, spin back on, spin back on. So just the labor side alone and the estimating side alone, I'd go with LATICRETE, just because I can cover a lot of ground with very few SKUs.
It also sounds like, you know, simplicity would be a big part of it, and I don't want to speak for LATICRETE, but price, not buying all those extra parts and pieces, I think it would be much easier and probably easy to schedule a job knowing you have 3 pieces you send out. I mean, that part I really like, so that's great. How are you addressing the Miami-Dade rule? Do you know what that is?
So we have looked and looked and looked, because after coverings, everybody asked how we did against Miami-Dade, and we can't find a test that Miami-Dade has for pedestals. If somebody can send that to me, I would love to see it, because I'm telling you, we've called and looked. There's one company out there that has what they consider a Miami-Dade approval, but it's not really. It's my understanding of what I read is it was a approval from an architect in the region. It's not really a Miami-Dade test, but if there's a Miami-Dade test out there, please send it, because we've looked for it and can't find it.
So Steve, tomorrow you'll get an email from me just thanking you for attending. If you want to respond to that with whatever you have that would outline or give us the Miami-Dade rule, that would be great, and then we can get back to you. That's perfect. Thank you.
I said we do have some international wind testing that we've had done, but nothing specific to Miami-Dade.
Do you have any marketing material available for presentations? I'm assuming a presentation to maybe an end user, you know, where they're going to be installing it or something on that, you know.
It's days away, just days away.
Days away. So Raymond, you can also.
There are some PDFs on the website, but as far as we're still putting together. It's coming fast.
Cool. So Raymond, if you want to send me a follow-up email from my email tomorrow, and I'll get it to Troy and he can get back to you as soon as that's available, that'd be great. All right. In California, after a certain height, you need to have a tray under the paver. Do you have this product available or coming?
It's coming. It's coming with the multi-plate. So yes, we already have. It's already in manufacturing right now, and it will be it's a metal plate.
Cool. Okay, got all the answers. I love it. Which grate can work with these pedestals? I've been selling them to landscape companies, and this is the biggest question in the tile grates. Is the tile grates?
I've seen this system. I've seen us use it on the grass turf. Is that what you're talking about, the grate system that goes with like the turfs?
So it doesn't say that here, Troy, but Ryan, I'm assuming yes, this is for grass or gravel type of a situation.
I know what you're talking about, but we don't have the grate system yet. We just haven't wanted to head that direction yet.
Okay. Do you have testing for pedestals over TPO roofing?
I don't know specifically. That'd be another email it in, and I'm more than happy to go through tech service and find out exactly what we have.
So Scott, all you have to do is tomorrow just reply to my email and ask for this, and I'll make sure Troy gets it and he'll get back to you.
Yep.
All right. NOA, notice of acceptance.
Notice of it. I don't know that one. I will find out though.
Okay.
I would accept it, but I'm not sure that
you would accept it. I love that.
I noticed it and I have accepted it.
All right, let's see here. Let's see here. I don't. So Mickey was the one that asked about South Florida NOA. So notice of approval.
Yeah, I'll follow up on all that. I mean, I love
Yep.
these questions because some of them have been questions we've asked ourselves, and it's new to us, and so we're trying to vet through all the things that we just don't know. A lot of questions came up at coverings that really helped us vet out some of the material.
I think you answered this one already, Troy, but I'm going to just put it out in your presentation. They need to create a slope to drain on top of existing below grade concrete. What is the best method for that?
So I mean, so I guess I'm gonna look at it two ways. I'm expecting that the concrete that they have below already is existing and already has grade to a drain. If that's not true, Duracrete's one of our products. You could slope to a drain if you wanted to add slope underneath of it. But if it doesn't already have slope to it, you can add, using Duracrete, one of our exterior products, to add slope if you needed to add slope.
Okay. How do you address anti-fracture membranes?
Same thing with the pads, if that's what you're talking about. If it's going to come into contact with it. I mean, you're having a system down. The only thing I'm concerned about at that point in time is movement underneath. And in a pedestal system, there's a fair bit of flexibility in it. So you're not going to get the cracking. When you talk about that, in my mind, I'm thinking about adhering to it and getting movement from it and getting cracking or disbonding from it. So if you're trying to protect the anti-fracture membrane, I'm not sure that you'd worry about protecting it, because I don't know what fracture, you're not going to have fracture coming up through the system.
So Steve, when you get my email, Steve Berger, if you want to just reach out and ask your question again and maybe with more detail to what you actually are asking, I'll make sure Troy gets that and we'll get you an answer. Oh, here's a good one. Does LATICRETE have a design service for a project if we provide the plan?
I know that other product lines out there do like drawings. I'm guessing he's talking about the drawings that you would get. We don't at this time. We have the estimator, but we don't have the design side of it yet.
Okay. Is that something you might do, you think, or down the line, or?
We've considered it, but until we get deeper into it and understand why it's necessary and what that would provide for the end user, probably not right now.
Okay, so here's one about compact gravel. Can you put the base on a 1/4 inch minus compacted gravel?
So, we've all walked at city parks where that 1/4 minus is hard as concrete. It's going to be situational. I've walked on that concrete and on that type of 1/4 minus, and then I've walked on 1/4 minus that's not compacted very well, and I'd be worried about settling. So I'm going to just say yes, as long as you're confident in how compacted that gravel is. Man, like I said, for 97 cents, you can get yourself a cheap little paver at Lowe's or Home Depot or something and throw underneath of it if you wanted to give it a little extra support.
So like every webinar I talk about this, how important manufacturers' recommendations are. They supersede TCNA or anything that we have. And if this question came up and someone called, would you have a technical rep or someone that could go look at it, the compact gravel, and help make a decision? Or
No, not really.
yeah,
I wouldn't expect that. Yeah.
Okay.
We just don't know the history of it, right? I mean, gravel is one of those things. I mean, I could compact it over something loose and it could appear to be great, and then by January, the substrate below the 1/4 minus is now saturated and it's just jello. So I think that's a field call.
Okay, great. Every exterior product in Miami-Dade has to have a Miami-Dade notice of acceptance. That's what he was talking about.
Okay, I will 100% look into that.
Okay, Mickey, make sure you reply to my email tomorrow and we'll get back to you on that. Thank you. Oh, Mickey has another one. I know that my South Florida LATICRETE rep is working on a Florida building code to start, just FYI. So
Oh, perfect.
perfect. All right. 2,200 pound pedestal capacity, regardless of extender spacers used up to 9 inches.
Up to 9 extenders, yeah. So 9 extenders and the max, still
Okay.
2,200 pounds, yes. Full system, full height.
Yeah, so you're talking almost 40 inches, right? 30 some inches, 30, that's
30,
pretty high.
yeah, 39 plus.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Will the epoxy not damage the waterproofing if there were to be repairs within the waterproofing?
So you're talking, so I'm guessing it's an adhered system on top of a roofing system.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to have to be the design by the designer, the architect and the designer, because I mean, there's too many roofings. I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Okay. Andy, sorry about that. So what 3 pieces do you actually need? You were pretty clear on this, so we'll go through it again.
So you need the mini, the max, and an extender, and that will get you those 3. And then we talk about the optional pieces once again, which are the slope correctors. And I'd have some of these, the rubber shims, just to take some of the little dunk out of the side of them. You don't have to worry about ordering the spacer tabs, because those are going to come with each one of the pedestals.
Okay.
So if you have those 3, I mean, basically, and if you wanted to say 4, let's say if you wanted to get down to 3/16 of an inch, I don't see that a ton, but really with those 3, you are literally, you know, 3/4 of an inch to 42 inches.
Perfect. What is the minimum size tile that can be used? Also, with no grout being an option, how do I sell to customers the look of the tile with voids at the grout joints?
It's like pinstriping. I think it's just a nice, attractive look. I mean, I think everybody on this call has probably walked on a pedestal system and didn't really know it, because it's dark. It's just basically like pinstriping. What was the first part of that?
What is the minimum size of tile that can be used?
Well, I suppose it has. I mean, you could put a really tiny one on there. I mean, I guess the minimum size would be,
how close the 2 pedestals can get,
yeah,
right?
so
Yeah.
that close is your minimum.
So that looks like what, 10 inches, 10, 12 inches?
No, it's gonna be less than that. I'd say,
Oh.
yeah, I'd probably say 10. And
Yeah.
I want to sell you these pedestals for that job, because man, that would be awesome how many of these you'd go through. But we will tell you that we're, you know, our standard / industry is really 2-foot centers, unless you're looking for a center to go in the middle of that 2-foot.
Okay. If the product can pass so South Florida NOAA, this will be a game changer. So that's just a comment. I think it will be a game changer.
Yeah, we plan on that game.
And Steve said he'll send us that information. Let's see. Busan Pedestals has a Miami-Dade NOAA one-off. I don't know what that really means.
That may, and I think Bison, I think it's Busan Bison. I think that's the one that has the architect approval from Florida. I think
Okay.
that's the one I might be referencing.
Right.
I can't see any reason when I look across the board at the competitive products that we would fall in any different category than what's already out there. We probably just need to cross some I's, dot some T's, and maybe write a check.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You probably would write a spec to them and get it okayed or whatever for sure. So.
Yep.
All right. Is there a video of these of an installation or of installation?
Working on it. Working on it right now. Well,
All right.
not right now, but we are working on it.
Not right now. No.
Well, we are videoing this, so there you go. Yeah. No, we're working on the installation. I videotaped our training the other day, but not a good installation video. We were discussing that today. If you have a project that you may need some demo material that you'd like us to do a video from, put that in the chat.
Okay.
Reach out.
So I'm going to just take a break before I go to more questions. We have lots of questions, but everybody, if you want to see a recorded version of this, it is on the NTCA YouTube channel. You can go to it. You can go to our website and click on the little YouTube button, and it'll take you right to it. And just click on videos, and you can look it up right by its title. You can, in the search area, just type in pedestals, and it will come up. So, all right. LATICRETE has wind load testing from Australia, it says.
Yes.
Okay, I guess that's just a comment. And let's see, something about it can be installed with TPO. Do you know what that is?
Time paid off.
Steve, you got to send us a follow-up tomorrow. Let's see here. Let's see. Here we go. A lot of them are duplicating of others earlier. Do you have a finished trim piece metal to finish the edge?
So we're working on, right now I would tell you to just use angle iron. We're working out of our pedestal division to come up with the most inexpensive angle to put into this line. So yes, we're working on that. Right now we're just trying to decide which one it is that's going to function the best for everybody.
So attendees, you're seeing the beginning of something, a new product that is going to really be out there, and there will be lots of updates and growth to this product line, I can tell. I think it'll be great. So someone's asking how were the steps installed? I mean, do you have time to go through that whole installation process or?
I mean, we'll have videos on that, but I mean, the steps really, what's nice is, let's say this is your bottom piece, and you've got your step coming across here. You pop out this tab, you've got your riser coming down, and then behind that you've got your next piece that's taller that has your tread up here, and then you're adhering your riser top to that. So basically you're just making the steps literally right out of lengthening the pedestals, and 6.5 inches, whatever you're making your rise. So really the riser is supported from the bottom on your lower piece, and then it's adhered to the angle bracket up underneath your top threshold. So like I said, these actually pop off. So if you were doing that, you could put your riser right here.
So there will be videos coming, everybody. All right. What section of the specs does this product line fall under?
That'd be a technical service question. They're the one writing the specification, so I don't know that one yet.
So again, you can send us a question, and Troy will get some answers for you, get back to you on that. Is there a warranty on this system?
So it comes out with a 5-year warranty. We have talked about doing some joint warranties with suppliers. So right now, 5 years.
Okay. Can you only install it in this is a good one, a straight grid pattern?
No, that's the nice thing about popping out you can pop out these tabs, and you could offset your pattern if you wanted to. Sure.
Excellent. Do you need a center pedestal for the 24 by 48 pavers?
So 24 by 48, you'll have 1 in each corner and 2 in the middle. Not in the middle of the paver. So if the paver's running this way, I'm 24, but I'm 48 towards you, it's going to be pedestal, pedestal, pedestal. So basically 3 pedestals in line going one way and 2 on the other side. Unless the manufacturer calls for a center pedestal, like one to come up in the middle of that, we're just telling you to put them every 2 feet.
And that, even if they have to put it in the middle, that's not a problem at all with that system. They could do that easily.
Basically, put it in the middle and spin it up.
All right. What's the minimum or maximum thickness of the paver?
Well, it's minimum would probably be, I don't have a tape measure. I don't know what that actually measures. That's the height of the spacer. So I'm thinking that's going to probably be your minimum. Man, I can't imagine being more.
I think their question, Troy, maybe has more to do
It's
with
a
the tile
manufacturer,
and the
right?
strength of the tile. And I would
Yeah.
say that's something you would ask the tile manufacturer on,
Yeah.
you know, for sure on that. Follow up on this on tile size. What about a hardwood plank look? Is a pedestal required on all four corners, or could you use 3 or 4 in a line on a wood plank?
You can use 3 or 4 in a line if you want to. I've seen a couple of those go in. It really, like I said, it's going to come back to what the manufacturer is going to tell you for the support. I mean, at 2,200 pounds, you could put these 12 feet apart. The problem is what you put between them is not going to take that. So it really, really means much more about the product you're using as your finished floor goods than it is the pedestals.
So we had questions on TPO, right?
Yeah.
Someone is saying it's thermoplastic polyolefin roofing membrane.
So all the membrane stuff that we've gone over, that we've looked at, we've been putting that foam pad over the top of to give it the buffer so you don't get that push down ring. You'd have to ask the manufacturer of that product what it looks like.
So so Ed Fedorowicz just
Yeah.
sent a video. I don't think anybody has a way to see these questions, Ed, and we'll have to, if anyone wants to see the video, if you would tomorrow just reply to the email, I'll make sure that we get you the link to the video. All right. What is the maximum tile size and weight of the pedestal can support? I think you said that,
2,200 pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I'd like to see the guy that sets that tile.
Yeah. I watched one of our installers. I think he's about 5 feet tall, and he was doing 4 foot by 4 foot tile. That was pretty funny. All right. Let's see here. What keeps this tile from moving? Just simply the weight of the tile?
So it has to be locked in on all the sides. So you're either against adjacent building, concrete, or you've epoxied, your live edge, you've epoxied that down. So it has to be all locked together that way. You can't just throw out a bunch of pedestals. You probably could if it was short, but you still have to lock in the outside ring of it. And that's where you'd epoxy the bottom and then epoxy it all the way to the bottom of the material.
Okay, how are you hanging the riser on the steps? Okay, I heard you say attaching it to the metal piece from above, but how would you actually hang that or connect it?
So basically, you'd take a piece of angle iron, for lack of a better term, and move it depending on how thick your material was. Let's say you had 1 inch thick material, which is pretty normal for these settings. You'd set your angle back 1 inch and adhere it here, and then the angle comes down. If I can only make a square with my hand. So then it comes down, and you're going to attach it right underneath that. And the bottom of it, you basically are going to put on the top of that bottom plate.
Okay.
And that's the same thing on what we call a live edge. You've got basically your concrete sitting there, and you don't have anything for it to lean against. That's where you'd put the angle. You put the angle on the bottom, and your face would go onto that side too. So you'd have angle metal underneath the top and angle from your substrate up, and then you adhere it this way to get that finish edge.
All right. If a contractor is working over the top of this tile and drops a tool, what stops this tile from breaking?
That would be a question for the manufacturer.
So, and truthfully, in this system, this is where having a box of extra tile or whatever would be great, because you just pick it up and replace it. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to replace if you have the right size, right?
Yep. And that tray, once you have the tray underneath of it, it's going to break, but it's going to break and stop, right?
Yep. All right. Is there a recommended operations temperature range, installation temperature range?
It'd be really hard to do with mittens. So I would probably say wherever you don't have to wear mittens. But no, there is not an operating range for it. No.
All right. All I have now is thank you. Great presentation. Troy, you did fantastic. I'll be in touch with you, Troy, with all the questions that come in. I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of your day today. This is an interesting, really growth area of our industry, and it's great to see another really great product. Thank you. Thank you to LATICRETE, and Troy, I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care, everyone.